Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, straight to the apex. The boys are all here, they're talking Formula One, and it's getting to that time of the season, I'm afraid. Oh, well, it had to happen at some point. Oh, it's a tough time for me. It's certainly a favourite podcast of mine. I'm going to be, I'm struggling, not going to lie. If you want to help me get through this time, you can show some love to the boys and say, hey, this is the podcast for me. If I need Formula One, I'm coming to you guys. And because of that, I'm going to click this like button. I'm sharing this podcast around. I'm going to comment, tell you how much I love it. And, the biggest one, share it around. If you know someone who's into Formula One, send this their way. They'll be like, bro, love it. Or lady bro. Anyway, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Straight to the Apex F1 Motorsport podcast. I'm your host this week, T-Dog. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm joined for the final time this season. Maybe. James or Jimmy and Mark W. So guys, how we doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck for that. That was a hell of a silence there.
I started worrying
as you can
because
tell.
I was very aware. I was sat here reading an email and may or may not have been picking my nose, and I don't know at what point I actually got accepted into the meeting, and may have been.
It was right up there. It was like that.
Yeah.
Right, mid scrape.
Mid scrape.
I just waited because James looked like he was gonna say something. I waited and he was winding up for one. So I didn't know when to talk or not. We're so seamless. 3 seasons in, it's like, professional.
Yeah.
Professionals.
This is probably one of the most enthusiastic starts to a podcast ever. I mean, ever for us.
Formula One, woo!
It's been a long season.
It's been a long season, and probably the main in my opinion. And I think I'm glad the weekend was actually. I think this was the message was there. The actual, yes, a certain team maybe won a Constructors' Championship. Yes, it was the end of another season, but it was the end of an era for arguably one of the GOATs. And it was the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one. I'm obviously talking about Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. And yes, it was the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the finale of the F1 season at the Yas Marina. Guys, what was your thoughts of the weekend straight off the bat? Mark?
Glad it wasn't a sprint weekend. Really.
Yes.
Liked the piece with Lewis and Martin driving the 3-year-old Mercedes. Thought that was really nice touch from Mark. It was a bit of an odd weekend. Obviously, the Drivers' Championship was sorted. We knew what was going on with that. And normally, it's kind of a free-for-all in the race. Didn't seem to be that because there was still the pressure of constructors. So it wasn't like the chaotic races we've had previously. It was an okay race. There was some flashpoints. But yeah, it was just weird. Lewis last race with Mercedes, it was all a bit strange. It's all a bit surreal. Like, he made a statement beforehand coming into the track. He was like wearing half red. No, he was wearing white. Then he wore a red and white ensemble, and then he left the track in full red. So, yeah, I thought it was a weird weekend. Very weird. It's like you say, it's an end of an era.
James, what are your thoughts?
Same really, bit of a weird one. The most weird bit, I'll eventually get my words out when I stop stuttering, was watching the race, and you're wanting Ferrari to do well because you know Lewis is going there next season, but at the same time, you want them to fuck up because you want McLaren to win the Constructors' Championship.
Mm.
And it's like, it's so conflicting.
I don't know.
Yes.
It was a strange one. I think for me personally, I think it was just sad. It was just sad. I just wanted to see Lewis do well. McLaren pretty much had the championships done because Leclerc's penalty earlier on in the week had kind of really destroyed their chances. Qualifying, which we'll get onto in a minute, amplified that. But yeah, it was just sad. There was so many moments from this weekend, and Mark, you touched on one with the outfit. It was just a bit surreal at times. A bit. Mine was the end of the race and the eye contact that was given to Sainz and Leclerc. It was all a bit weird, really strange, a bit tense, a bit like the handshakes between Lewis and Sainz. It was frosty. And then even the one between Leclerc and Lewis, that was frosty as well. It was a bit strange. I didn't
Probably a bit awkward. Maybe it wasn't frosty. Maybe it come across frosty. Maybe it was just awkward because Sainz has had a bee in his bonnet all year. I mean, I had an interview with him after the race saying, being a bit surreal. He got told at the beginning of the year he's lost his job. So he was like, right, what do I do? He said, I fully understand. Lewis is coming in. Lewis is Lewis. He said, but, it's probably just really awkward. Something you touched on, James. It was really conflicting, like you say, because I want Ferrari to have that number one constructor tag, but then equally, it's less time in the tunnel for Lewis in the car. So you're like, I really do really like that Brown and everything McLaren have done. If I'm brutally honest, I think Andreas Stella, he was obviously an old engineer when Lewis was at McLaren. You've heard his name. I just think they've done such a good job to turn that team around, which was a laughing stock. And Zach Brown was a bit of a laughing stock. This big, big, larger-than-life American character. What does he frigging know? I think them two have with help from other girls and boys at the team, they've really turned it around, that team. And now they could be a contender. You know what I mean? They've got the tools to go and kick on. So
yeah, I agree. Go on. Yeah, marketing is a marketing man brought in. A lot of people disagreed and thought, "What's he going to do here?" At the beginning of last season, they were the absolute joke, weren't they? They were getting buried. Like you say, they've brought a few people in. I think the appointment of Lando and Piastri, it was always going to be a genius stroke, really. The real poster boys of McLaren. Yeah, it's come to fruition now. What do you think, James? Can you add anything to that?
For a guy that started his career on a kid's version of Wheel of Fortune, he's done pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to give credit to the guy. But yeah, I mean, they've gone through a hell of a challenge, a hell of a journey. I mean, obviously they've had Lando there for a few years. Obviously, he was driving with Sainz for a bit. There was obviously money struggles at one point, and they weren't doing great. And Charlie always reminds me of this, that both Lando and Sainz gave up quite a lot of their salaries to support the team.
Mm.
And yeah, I think the first 2 seasons of this, we've always made a bit of a joke about them. Halfway through last season, they suddenly started looking a kind of, the fuck's going on here? And this season, I think there was one race at the beginning where they weren't great, and then all of a sudden it was pretty much just hold my beer. You've
Yeah.
I
got
mean,
to give the kids credit.
go back to when Lewis left McLaren, like tying it in with Lewis. He left McLaren when they was at the top of the hill. They was the team to beat. They had that lovely Vodafone McLaren Mercedes. He left. I think they'd had a couple of iffy seasons, but there was always up there. He left. Everyone laughed at him. He went to Mercedes. McLaren then were absolutely shite. I mean, Jenson Button drove some absolute dogs. Then they dropped Mercedes and said, we'll never win being a customer of Mercedes. We're going to Honda. We're going to take the Honda engine, bring on the GP2 engine. Comments from Alonso when he was there. Then they went to Renault because Honda was shit, and then Red Bull took over Honda and they did well out of it. They went to Renault. Renault was shit. They went crawling back to Mercedes, and everyone thought, well, you've just said you can't win as a customer, so what are you doing? Where's your engine? Come on, Zach, bring GM or Cadillac or whatever in. But no, McLaren said, do you know what? We're going, hands up, we've done it wrong. We're going back to Merc. It fits our car. And they've built from the ground up. They've literally, like you said, they had no money. They stripped that company down to the bare bones. And they've come out of it champions this season, which, let's be brutally honest, anyone but Red Bull would have fucking pleased us. Anybody but Red Bull.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
What's really depressing is the last time they won the Constructors' Championship, neither of the drivers was born. Well, I think Norris might have been a couple of weeks old, but that's it.
Wow. That's a stat for you. Chuck a stat out right there.
Yeah.
Well, there's fucking many stats that Lewis Hamilton has achieved. I mean, just
I've got an
Google.
interesting one for you.
Go on.
I don't know if either of you two have seen it. I've seen it a couple of times on Facebook now. So, someone looked at Lewis's last race in Brazil for McLaren, and then looked at his last race for Mercedes. Abu Dhabi.
I know. Yeah,
I know where you're going.
And
I've got it.
the world champion spun in lap 1 and recovered in 6th. Sergio Perez did not finish. It was a McLaren driver who won the race. What was the other one? It was a Spanish Ferrari driver who finished 2nd, and it was Italian.
Other Ferrari driver that finished 3rd. But who was that other Ferrari driver? We all know who it was this year, but who was it way back in Brazil?
The Spanish one was Alonso.
Massa.
It was. And who was the British McLaren driver that won that race?
Button.
Correct.
Oh, sure,
yeah. That annoyed me slightly because that's been there for 12 years and all season. So why didn't any of us pick that up? But I suppose it's a massive coincidence. A huge coincidence that happened again. Like, fuck hell.
Yeah.
It's the Perez bit as well.
Yeah.
Oh, bag of shit, that guy is.
Do you think he's gone?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, I was going to say, moving swiftly onto the news, has anybody got any more updates on Sergio Perez?
It's like I read your mind.
Yes, he is still in contract with Red Bull as the canteen staff.
That's why they went over budget.
I've read they can't really get rid of him. They've renewed his contracts last was it this season or last season? He brings a lot of money in with his sponsors. They can't get rid of him. And now they're trying to get rid of him, supposedly, allegedly. I mean, watch this space. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this here right now. This is my opinion of him, and I think that I speak for the majority here. He's absolute dog shit. He's dog shit. He's been dog shit all season, and there's no sign of improvement at his home race, new parts. He's got Mark on his side. He's got fucking everybody trying to big him up in the team.
I don't think he's got Mark on it. I think Mark
I can't see him continuing. And I've just seen recently Yuki Tsunoda testing the Red Bull. So
yeah,
I've Hadjar is still maybe allegedly in that seat maybe next year. No, sorry, Lawson is supposedly in that seat next year. Hadjar in the VCAB, fuck knows, is the straight answer.
I've heard a rumour, speaking on Red Bull. Apparently, did you see a post from Max Verstappen in the week? His partner is pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Is Perez the dad?
No, it's Christian Horner.
Yeah.
I've heard a rumour that Max Verstappen is going to announce his retirement.
No, fucking bullshit.
All I'm saying is, the kid isn't in it for the long haul. Don't want to die racing. He's got a child on the way. He loves e-racing. I don't believe it at all. But strange things have happened.
No. I could see him moving.
No.
I think he has to move.
Where?
To solidify his position as one of the greats. If he doesn't, he's just another world champion, in my opinion. I don't know.
He has to move. I've just remembered, adding to your stat, Red Bull had just won 4 world championships in a row, drivers' championships. It was Vettel. That was another stat on that thing about what we were saying about the Ferrari driver and everything.
Yeah, it was Red Bull. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I can't see him moving anywhere else because where would he go? Who would have him?
This is when he gets announced he's going to Mercedes, and Toto's like, "I always wanted him."
Yeah,
I think he will go either Mercedes or Aston Martin. I really do.
He won't go to Aston Martin unless Newey pulls an absolute rabbit out of the hat straight away. But let's be brutally honest. One of the drivers ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem with Aston Martin.
Yep.
Anyway,
he's one of the immortals. He's like the Highlander.
Yep.
Any more news on anything? Can anybody give me anything?
Jack Doohan was racing this weekend instead of Ocon.
Mm-hmm. We knew that. We knew that. We got all excited about that last week. I've got Chinese GP extended to 2030. Interesting. What else have we got? Nothing much else. It's all kind of in the race, really. 100%. Well, we can talk about a little bit about the race has been completed, but Piastri's joined an exclusive list of drivers who have completed 100% of racing laps this season. Can you give me another driver? There's 3 drivers that have done this. Can you give me one of those drivers? It's very easy.
What was it again? They completed 100% of the laps.
The racing laps. In a season. In a season. Yeah, so
Schumacher.
In 2019.
Yes.
Senna.
No.
Oh.
I know
Lewis,
Hamilton's the other one.
Yeah.
I think
Vettel,
it was 2019 when he did that.
Massa, Rosberg, Hakkinen,
Latifi.
Raikkonen,
One more guess. Go on.
Barrichello,
No. James? Max Verstappen.
Oh shit! Yeah.
What else have we got here?
So I saw
Max
Yeah,
Verstappen's got-
Gasly
go on, James. I was just going to say this.
has cost absolutely fuck all in the entire season. Not one scrape, not one side pod damage, not one puncture,
Who
no
has?
wing changes, no front nose changes.
Yeah,
Other than his
Gasly.
salary, no cost to the team.
Nope, not one.
Gasly?
Gasly has had not one single accident and has cost that team nil poit in repairs.
Not
you
even
sure about
alloys.
Yeah. Williams are dreaming of a day when they get someone that only costs them 10% of what they've paid this season. Yep.
I thought there was a crash earlier on this season when Ocon absolutely took him out and blasted him.
Nope.
Or was that last season?
Must have been last season. Gasly has not cost that team one penny in repairs.
Wow.
His insurance is fucking gone down next year.
Through the roof.
Exemplary. He's got 1 year no claims. Well done,
With
son.
Admiral, he's doing all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right then, should we move on?
Let's move on.
Right then. I know nobody likes this, but we're gonna practice.
Wow.
Has anybody got anything from practice?
No, but I'm guessing you have. At least I'm hoping you have, because otherwise, why the fuck bring it up?
All I can say, there was a few rookies that were out and about. That's it.
Good segment.
Cheers,
well played,
mate.
you
Well done, you. Fucking hell. I thought we were going somewhere then. Well done. Love it.
Moving swiftly on.
Practice report brought to you by Tony Rawson. Boom. There was a few
it was all right.
Q Lewis Hamilton. Very, very, very unlucky.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, James? Do you want to start?
Yeah, it was a load of old bollards, wasn't it? You couldn't write it. No one would have expected that. And he was looking fast as well on that. It was just unfortunate. I mean, stuck in dirty air behind one driver, and then when he just got out of that, obviously Magnussen had his little jerk moment. I don't mean jerk as in he's a jerk, but he jerked the car, came off the side just to stay safe, knocking a bollard off, which then got wedged right underneath Hamilton's nose. And yeah, it was just a shitter.
Yes.
Toto was fuming.
Toto was fuming.
I think the team put him in a shit position. Track-wise, time-wise. Yeah.
To quote Toto,
doing his voice.
We totally let him down. That's what he said.
The fuck was that?
We totally let him down.
Fuck me, that was like Italian from Wish.
I'm sorry, Lewis. We totally let you down.
That's a little bit better.
We're getting there. By next season, we perfected it.
Toto apologizes because sending him out so late during Q1. I mean, yes, I agree. He's quick. He's very quick. Why are we sending him out last chance saloon style? I know track evolves, but there was about another 10 drivers that had gone before him a lot earlier, and they all went quicker. So don't know why they did that. However, very, very. I keep saying it. How unlucky was he with the bollard? Mark, can you add anything else to that?
Yeah, like very unlucky with the bollard. I mean, the fact that it come loose on his cool down lap as well. Yeah, few teams do this, don't they? It's the track to its best performance. We were back to playing silly buggers in the pit lane again, though, weren't we? They got told off for it all weekend, like straight from Q1, really. Probably in practice, but Tony will know because he's Mr. Practice Correspondent. They was told off in Q1, Q2, Q3. They all fucking did it. Stop it. I mean, the pit lane's real weird at Abu Dhabi. It like goes under. It's a tunnel. It's dangerous anyway. Yeah, Mercedes just pulled a fucking typical Mercedes. Send him out early, get a lap in the bank. What if there'd have been a crash? I mean, let's be honest. Williams. What if one of them had a crash? You fucked. You're out. Why wait? We say it time and time again. It's a stupid game, and when it backfires, it backfires. And unfortunately, it backfired with a bollard.
But especially in the circumstances that it's Lewis's last race, he's the quickest. I just thought it was stupid. But I'm glad Toto came out and said what he said.
Fuel him up and let him have a few quali laps. It's the last qualifying you've got with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Let him have a few. You know what I mean? Like, give him that pole. What if they could have given him that pole? What a send off!
What a send off!
The dick about it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Moving swiftly on, Q2. Charles Leclerc goes track limits and track has a time deleted and he ends up out. And he, with his penalty, that was pretty substantial. Any more thoughts on that?
Yeah.
It was a tight one, wasn't it? I mean, Perez had done it in the same spot. I mean, in fact, the stewards' decisions that weekend with track limits, and in fairness, I'm fairly certain last season we had this track limits thing going on as well, where everyone was getting times deleted here.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking tight, and it was tight on Perez as well because he got his lap deleted. They went in, changed his tyre, so he went out on a fresh pair of softs, and then they reinstated his lap because of the bulge of the tyre and a bit of everything else, and it wasn't quite over the track limit. So he was pissed off, as was Red Bull. But with Leclerc, it was there was clear blue line between the white part of the track and the tyre. But again, we're talking what, centimeters?
Yeah. Anything to add, Mark?
What did you think to Perez's attitude with his race engineer? Because he got it deleted. He was like, check it. It was like, we have checked it. It is what it is. Because it was Anthony Davidson was like reviewing it, and he said, didn't he? The back tyre comes off as the front tyre kind of went on, so it was almost like benefit of the doubt. That's why they reinstated it. And then when they said, "Oh, it's been reinstated," Sergio, I told you to check it, man. Like he fucking proper booted off, and he was like, "Not your engineer's fault. He hadn't deleted it." I mean, I think was it Piastri that also had a similar one where it was deleted then reinstated, and they both said they were exactly the same. Leclerc, like you say, there was a gap. So he unfortunately lost his lap, but I mean track limits. We've mentioned this about 1 million times this year. Just have it as the two white lines and don't let them go over it. But
I agree. We're professional F1 racing drivers at the top of our game. I think every single one of them drivers, barring even doing, they've all been there before, whether it's being lower classes. They've had practice 1, 2, and 3. Why is that happening? Okay, yes, they're pushing the car to the limit, but I don't know. I just feel like it's schoolboy, but maybe that's my I don't drive an F1 car, so I don't know.
Mm.
But it's do you know what it is? It's just really annoying.
It is.
Really annoying. Because you think somebody's done a good lap, and you think you know where everybody is, and then suddenly, bang, somebody loses something, and you're like, for fuck's sake, man. And then you're like, oh, is it legit, or is it going to get reinstated? What's going on? You're like, for fuck's sake.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it is what it is. We moved on. Yeah. Norris goes the quickest, Piastri second, Sainz third. Hulkenberg was on pole for a point, which was impressive.
It was.
Very impressive. Max Verstappen, fifth.
He was
Don't-
fucking lucky.
Yeah.
That kid, honestly, I mean, Zach Brown said it this weekend as well. He said there is no other driver out on that track like him, because that guy, he can spin the car, he can do whatever, and he always recovers. And he did it twice this weekend, once in the race and
Yeah.
then once in Q3, right at I think it's the last turn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he spun the back end out, went right
Rode
over
the
the
curve.
line, but he kept his front tyres on the track within track limits and kept that lap time.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Anchor.
And he still got fifth with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gasly, Russell, Alonso, still going strong at Aston Martin. Don't know how the fuck he's doing it. Bottas had probably the best
Excellent.
quality he's had in a while. And then Perez. So yeah, interesting. I've got some facts on the Lando Norris pole. And that was his 8th pole of the season.
Mhm.
What did you get? Oh, and he is one of only 4 McLaren drivers to ever get 8 or more poles in a season. Can you tell me the other 4? No, the other 3.
Lewis.
No.
Raikkonen.
No.
Button.
No.
Mika Hakkinen.
Yes.
Look how happy he was then.
I know. Niki Lauda.
No. One very, very well-known one.
James Hunt.
Yes.
Yes.
And I didn't think you'd get that one, but there's another one.
Fernando Alonso.
No.
I'm just going to keep
My idol.
it here.
So much so I've got a book on him.
Ayrton Senna.
Yes. Yeah. An elite club.
I just thought
Yeah,
I'd keep
I
naming fucking McLaren drivers. Just keep going.
So
What-
yeah, that was quality.
What
That
did you think
was
to
quality.
Hulkenberg's penalty? Obviously, he qualified 4th. He again played silly buggers in the pit lane. He overtook one car and tried to overtake another, and he got a penalty for the race. You've qualified 4th, and you fall back for impatience. Like going into town and you going in the bus lane, and it's
Well, he said he needed to do it to get good track position for the qualifying and stuff like that, which I kind of get.
yeah.
And it did benefit you because you finished 4th. But mate, come the fuck on, it cost you 3 places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the best.
Not the best. Anything more to add to quality?
No.
No. Well, coming up to the end of segment 1, we'll get to the race. And then I think, yes, we can go into the postseason a little bit. We can touch on the final standings, I think, but we don't want to go into them too much because we might, we will have a season review. maybe next week or the week after. And hopefully we'll have some special guests on there as well, because we had a couple that were on our bonus podcast that may
What
have
is it
gone there.
with you and forgetting fucking names?
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, fucking clearly, because you forget my fucking name all the time. But in the WhatsApp chat earlier on, and just now, Anna and Dean.
Anna and Dean.
Yes. I ain't
Anna
even
and-
met these guys and I know their fucking names.
I'll be honest.
Anna and Dean.
What is it? I forgot already. Amber and Dean.
Oh, fuck me.
Anna. Right.
This is going really well, mate. You know, you want to get these two to come on here with all three of us. And at the moment, they're probably listening to this going, I ain't going on with him.
Don't worry, you two. I've uninvited Tony, so you've only got one.
Either that or she's looking at Dean and going, who the fuck's Amber?
Yeah.
Who is she? The skank.
I hope they come on and say, all right, Tim. Oh, shit. Sorry, that's not your name. Sorry. Tom. All right, Tom. No.
Right, Tommy.
Dean, I am honestly so bad with names. I can't.
James knows because you've never mentioned him once.
Never.
I do. No, I didn't. I know his name as well.
Well, it's a good point to say. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy.
Oh, you remember Andy's name? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Can't forget Andy. Can't forget Andy. That beautiful, bearded, long-haired man.
Hey.
Thank you. Part of Cookie Cast. Other
bearded
podcasts
men are available.
Beautiful, yeah. Cheers, Tony.
Have you been on the NFL one, James, this year?
No.
Oh.
Fucking hell, there's a bus, James. He's just fucking throwing you under it.
Burn.
Wow.
Anyway, hopefully you'll make it on there and you'll maybe win a point, maybe on their scoring edition. But we can't wait to hear the actual scores and the final scores of our predictions. I've got no fucking clue.
Oh, I do.
You've got to tune in for that later, guys. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. I think you're gonna have to sit tight because we've got the race, we've got predictions. Yeah. And then we've got to pick through post-season. If anybody's seen anything already, I have, potentially. But yeah, right then. We'll see you on the other side. Peace out.
Peace.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
Welcome back to Straight to the Apex, episode 25, Abu Dhabi, part 2. And we're on to the race. And that's where we're going to start. Mark's had a shower. He's got a brew. James has been to the toilet and so have I. So we're ready if you are.
That's where he was. I'm not moving. He's gone to the toilet.
Well, you can't chance it nowadays. You can't chance it. Lap 1. First corner. We have a crash and a spin. Max Verstappen rolls up the inside, clips Piastri. They both spin. I'm going to go with Mark. What's your view on this?
I think it was Martin that said it at the time. Desperate move he didn't need to make. However, seeing the replays again and again and again, it was quite far up the inside of Piastri, but Max could have took a tighter line. I think it was one of them lap one incidents. It was just a bit stupid.
I agree. What about you, James?
I disagree.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you both forget my fucking name, so
Go on, John. I mean,
We'll-
James.
we'll discuss
Jimmy?
that more on Fuck the Apex, the new podcast from CookieCast starring me.
And only me.
Yeah, because I remember my name. I'm your host. Yeah. No, stupid move. Wasn't necessary. Max knows better, but yeah. The annoying thing was I saw it coming from a fucking country mile. Then it happened. And annoyingly, like I said in the first half, that guy recovers like nothing, fuck. It was unbelievable. He genuinely spun 360 and carried on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Finished facing the way he was heading.
What a lucky bastard.
But Piastri's comment as well, straight away, just went, yep, it's a world champions move, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when they announced that he got a penalty, he was like, good.
Good. Yeah.
Max said he was super unlucky and it was all the way up the inside before the crash. Yes, he was, Max, but unfairly. That's all I'm going to say.
For me, Max saying that's like, when you've got your boss or that person who is never wrong, but when you prove them wrong, they still don't admit it. They just kind of word it slightly different. Max is very good at either completely saying it wasn't my fault, or and he just went, "Yeah, I was super unlucky." That's Max's way of saying I fucked up.
Well,
I think.
While we're on Max, I've just remembered something. Sorry, Tony. They all went out for their end of season meal. George and Max couldn't have sat further away unless it was in different restaurants. Not a lot of comments said about what's happened between the both of them. And then there was a photo of, I think it was the sponsors or something to do with the FIA, and George and Max were knelt down together. So, like, I thought it had carried on, really, this war of words, and it kind of just was like nothing.
It's fizzled out, didn't it?
But you're right in what you're saying. When Max is wrong, he goes on the offensive, doesn't he? He won't just say, "Yeah, that was my error. That sorry, everyone." He's always got to say something. Like I say, he's always right. So yeah, I see your point, and I kind of side with it. To be fair,
what do you think of his comments? I don't know if he said it after he'd served the penalty, but they only played it on the TV after he'd served his penalty.
Yeah.
But when he went, should we have asked him for 20 seconds? And then his whole kind of stupid idiots.
I know.
He could get himself in a lot of shit for that.
I love his honesty, but equally
keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself because, like you say,
say it off the fucking radio.
But also, you're in the wrong, so just don't say anything. But it's that sarky comment of, well, give me 20, give me 30. Yeah.
I think he'd have a lot more fans if he shut up. I think he'd have a lot more fans.
Yeah,
I think it's just a bit of arrogance in it, but that's Max Verstappen, isn't it?
Yeah.
10-second penalty. Yeah. We move on. Was there was a conspiracy theory that was trying to ruin the McLaren fanfare and challenge. I don't know. It's a bit of a coming together.
I even said at the time, I was like, it makes no fucking difference. It genuinely doesn't. They was out of the runnings for the fucking constructors. It doesn't fucking matter.
No.
Whether it's fucking Ferrari or McLaren who finish first, because Red Bull aren't going to move. They get what they've got. What?
It's no benefit to him to scupper, like he's good mates with Lando. Why would he do that? Surely for him, he's won the Drivers' Championship and his mates' teams won the Constructors. Isn't that better for him? Yeah, I don't kind of buy into that.
Yeah.
Leclerc marching up the order is what I've got next. Bottas, Perez spin, and Perez loses the drive of the car somehow, and that's his race over. Piastri then decides to go up the back of Colapinto, and gets a 10-second penalty straight back at him. Bottas obviously got a penalty for what he did.
Did Piastri feel sorry for Williams that they didn't have a crash this weekend? So he thought, no, I'll cause one.
I'll just,
mechanics have got fuck all to do.
Rear end him.
Yeah.
Leclerc then passes Magnussen, Alonso, Gasly very quickly. Then we had Russell on Gasly. And then we had Bottas flying into Magnussen and causing a puncture, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. He absolutely flew straight into the back of that Haas. We then had some Lewis going onto the mediums, and it got a bit spicy, and he started to charge right up the field. And so did Piastri as well. And then all I've got is the final lap, because Lewis was getting closer and closer to George, and it was a finish. It wasn't a perfect finish, but it was a beautiful finish. And it was something of beauty when he went around the outside on Russell. And I am going to be honest, guys. It was a moment I will cherish for a long, long time. Tears in my eyes. It was spectacular. And
Did you actually see that bit then?
I'll be honest, I did not see the Bottas Magnussen. I was asleep for that. In fact, the majority of the middle of the race I was asleep for. I missed a lot of the pit stops. And then I was rudely awoken.
I'm going to probably come across as a dick for saying this. I do think Hamilton was given that position.
Fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. Don't fucking crush dreams like that, you son of a bitch.
Honest to God, watching it, Hamilton was closing the gap. He was. There was like 2 seconds on or so, and then in the last lap there was 1.5, and then all of a sudden in the third sector, that gap drops very quickly, and Hamilton overtakes on the outside. Now, don't get me wrong, Hamilton did have better tyres, there was younger, everything, but there is a part of me that does think Russell gave him that.
I'm just watching it again now. I'm just watching it. I mean, Toto was on the radio saying, keep it clean. It looks a bit... Now you've said it, I can't unsee it. Can't unsee it. But...
I'd like to think, no, he got it. But there is that look, and I said to Charlie, I was saying, if I was George Russell, I'd give him it. I genuinely would. And she was like, why though? Because you're still there. And I went, well, what's it matter? Because you're right, I'm still there. but I would be wanting to give the guy that I was chasing around as a kid, trying to get his autograph, one last hurrah as a thank you.
Also, it endears you to the team that you're staying at. Lewis is a legend. Now you've said it, I'd
What do you wanna
like to
beat
think
him?
it wasn't, but what a better
wanna
way
beat
to
him?
cement yourself as the leader and endear yourself to a team than to give Lewis Hamilton that pass around the outside. Yeah.
And let's.
Or
There
beat
was
him,
also an equal
and
point.
say, no, I'm completely
bastard.
poo-pooing this.
James, you bastard.
Beat him and say, it's over now. I'm the master now. I'm number one. I've got a similar feeling right now of when you get told that Santa's not real. That's how I feel right now.
What?
Mate,
What? What? What do you mean?
we don't know how old our listeners are.
He's real.
But he's real.
You know, I listen to this in the car,
He's
right?
real.
I'm normally taking John to or from school when I'm listening to this.
John, don't believe Uncle Tony. He's just bitter because he's been on the naughty list all year. He's real.
So he is real.
Of course he's real. Why even question it?
He's as real as Greg Wallace is innocent.
I don't know. I've kind of lost my mind now. I don't know if Lewis Hamilton is the greatest or Santa's real.
Yay! That was my one last hurrah for the season.
Wow.
What's going on?
Wow. Oh, allegedly.
It's not allegedly.
I'm completely speechless. I don't know.
Greg.
I don't know.
Greg,
We're gonna have to move on, and I'm gonna have
sue
to
me.
do some investigating and see if Santa's fucking real. But anyway, Lewis Hamilton. Let's the elephant in the room here. McLaren, Lando Norris won. Papaya rules. Papaya on top. Papaya fuck off. Fuck off, Papaya. Papaya wins the constructors championship. And that was obviously one of the biggest themes. It's the first win since 1998. And they've won it in 74, 84, 85, 88, 89, 1991 and 98. I wonder if they might win it again. Maybe. We'll have to speak about that
I think they'll
in
do
another
good
podcast.
this year. I think
Did they deserve to win it this year?
Yes.
I think they did. And we've touched on this already.
I don't think he deserved to win the Drivers' Championship. I think the team deserved to win the Constructors.
Yeah.
666 points. Ferrari 652. Red Bull 589. Mercedes 468. And then it was Aston Martin 94. Alpine 65. Haas 58. RB, VCAB, whatever the fuck you want to call them, 46. Williams 17. And Kick Sauber with 4 points. Zach Brown put it as simply lovely.
A little nod to Max there.
I mean, they deserve to win it. Good on them.
You just said fuck them. Make your mind up.
Yeah. Fuck Papaya, fuck this, fuck that.
What I found interesting was Lando Norris's comments on next year, my year too. Maybe.
Nah.
It's a bold comment to make.
Very bold after throwing it away this year.
It's maybe the year after. I mean, we've got to remember Red Bull. Don't have Newey, but he's still got his stamp on that car a little bit. Whereas the year after, it's let's face it, it is just a fucking Red Bull fucking car from Wish. By that point,
Yeah.
I think he could get one, but I think McLaren will do well again next year. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Charles Leclerc getting driver of the day.
Mm.
Deserved or what?
Watching the footage of his first lap, he went from, was it 19th to about 9th? Placed the car well, kept his nose clean, kept out of trouble. Did he make any amazing overtakes? Not that I can remember. Where's Tony gone?
He just left. He's shot himself, probably.
Have you upset him by asking a question about Charles Leclerc?
No, he's probably just lost his signal.
It was freezing.
I'm going to say he shit himself.
I think
We'll
he shot
we'll go with that.
He'll be back, viewers. Yeah, I don't think he did. But then, who would deserve it? Do you not think he did?
No, do I fuck?
Who do you think did?
Lewis Hamilton.
Well,
and I'm going to say it for this. It's amazing how fast your fucking car goes with a brand spanking new fucking gearbox.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
And Hamilton was in a very similar position.
Yeah.
And finished where he finished.
Quite like
without a brand new gearbox.
Quite like Lewis's comments before the race. Or no, after quali, or I think it maybe after practice, where he said, I've got the fast setup on this weekend. What did he mean by that? Because I think they alluded to, why, if you've got a fast setup, why don't you just set both cars in the fast setup? Lewis was like, oh yeah, they've given me the fast setup this weekend.
No, I don't know. What do you reckon, T-Dog?
Welcome back, by the way.
It is.
Did you shoot yourself?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what. Well, I do know what happened. This guy, I don't know who it was, but he was dressed up as Santa and he was talking a lot of Mexican language at me, and he seemed very aggressive. Don't know why. Don't know if it's because of the Mexican F1 following or it was the big man himself. Don't know, but he may have just.
He's not driving for Red Bull anymore, so he's just going to be the supermarket Santa in some like Mexican equivalent of Asda. El Asdador.
Asdador.
Franchise out of that. El Asdador. I want that. I want to shop in El Asdador. Nice.
You Mexico.
Trump's going to build his wall and you fucking stuck in El Asdador.
El Tesco.
I don't know what's going on. I've completely.
No.
I got kicked out and then I've come back and it's just I don't know where I am now. I'm completely lost.
James,
I think he mentioned Charles Leclerc getting driver of the day and if it was deserved.
Yes, it was because he did come up. Was it 13 places
with a brand spanking new fucking gearbox?
Yeah, I agree. They obviously pulled out all the stops to try and get them to win, but then obviously Q2 happened, so that was out of the question. And the McLarens were quicker. I think he did mention about Lewis Hamilton and his fast setup, was it?
Yeah.
If you watch an interview just after qualifying, Toto, through his disappointment, does kind of reveal quite a lot. I think unless it's after the race, I'm not sure. And basically, they gave him everything, I think. He says they gave Lewis everything for his last race to try and get him as high as possible. But the bollard happened and it kind of fucks it all up. There's a lot of conspiracy to say, are they hiding things from Lewis?
Well, yeah.
Take it to Ferrari.
Yeah. Every driver they do.
You got to remember.
Is that why he wore red. Is that why he's done the things and said the things that he's said in the past and looking very, very, very fed up in the past few races?
It's not like us lot. We put our notice in, we can get put on garden leave kind of thing. It's
yeah. Well, if you're important, like certain people,
Not me.
but yeah, I thought Lewis Hamilton at the end was fantastic. Well, before we get on that, let's just have a quick rundown of the results of this GP. So Norris won, Sainz second, Leclerc third, Ferrari did as much as they could, but it wasn't good enough. Lewis Hamilton fourth, Russell fifth, Max sixth, Gasly seventh, Hulkenberg eighth, Alonso ninth, Piastri 10th, Albon 11th, Tsunoda 12th, Joe 13th, Stroll 14th, Doohan 15th, and Magnussen 16th. I thought it was a great touch at the end to have Lewis Hamilton doing donuts on the pit straight. I thought that was on the main straight. Sorry, I thought that was fantastic. The images at the end where I think it was exactly how I envisaged it and how I wanted it to go, barring he didn't get a podium.
I mean, they did say to him, Bono said, "You're on for a podium, Lewis." And he was like, "How many seconds I may be at?" Really? And he was like, "That's a bit of a stretch." But he did well to get back to where he did from the poor starting position.
I think that was a push though, because I mean it was nice to hear Bono say to him, "It's hammer time." No, it's
Yeah, it
the
was.
last time
Yeah,
we
it
ever
was
hear
nice.
that.
Yeah.
But even Max Verstappen, Max has said it recently. You can say what you want about Hamilton. He's not in his prime, or he's not this, or he's not that. But you give that guy a sniff of a podium, and he's fucking on it.
Yeah, to be fair.
He hadn't lost it.
No.
I think.
No.
Is he beating Leclerc at Ferrari next year?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think so because of the body language of us. What I saw at the end of the race, I think you could write a small piece.
I was
going
to say that shot of Leclerc leaning on a doorway after the race. He'd finished third, but he looked defeated and downbeat. And the commentators went, "Oh, he just looks down." And I just went, "Yeah, because he's just realised he's driver number 2 now."
But him and Sainz were miles apart, weren't they?
Yeah.
They obviously do not get along.
Free pit. But even when Leclerc got interviewed, I made a note of it. What was it? There was asked, "Oh, Hamilton's going to be coming up to Ferrari with you next year. Are you happy with him being your teammate?" And all of a sudden, his tone changed. He just went, "Yeah, of course."
They're gutted. He's gutted, and Ferrari are gutted that they've lost out. They pulled out all the stops. They've lost out. But I don't know if it's our or my Mercedes bias, Lewis Hamilton bias, British driver bias. He knows, and from your comments there of that interview, and the body language you see, I think he knows he's second. And I think it must be clear that he is second. I know Ferrari this season and a previous have really kept the drivers even sometimes, if not majority of the time. I think he knows next year is Lewis Hamilton's year in that car to win a championship, to solidify.
Look at Aston Martin. They bring in fucking Alonso straight away. That guy, I'm not being funny. That guy's had a fucking longer career than Bruce Forsyth. But straight away he was your number one.
Yeah.
He'll
If
keep
Vettel
going.
came back, he would automatically be number one. Max Verstappen will go anyway. Max Verstappen could come out fucking looking like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, fucking Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'd be like, you're number one.
And it's great I print screen this because I thought this was the eyes don't lie. And if you watch the eyes and the body language at the end of the race to Lewis Hamilton, yeah, you know it. You know it.
I think Leclerc's worried. I don't think it's that he's number two. Lewis kind of made a couple of comments again. Well, I think Martin did. That Lewis likes a car a certain way. He likes to attack corners. He likes a nice pointy car. He likes to brake late because he can outbrake anybody. This car with ground effects, the Mercedes, hasn't given him that feeling. So he's not the Lewis Hamilton we know that has won championships. I've got a funny feeling Fred Vasseur, who used to be the manager of Lewis Hamilton when he was a youngster in F whatever, knows what Lewis likes and knows that car is pointy and agile and every trait that Lewis Hamilton loves. And Leclerc's thinking, fuck, this new car is built for him. And because let's be honest, if Lewis Hamilton comes in next year and absolutely wipes the floor with Leclerc, beats him 18 podiums to 2, or beats him in every race all season, everyone is going to look at Charles Leclerc and say, "Oh, you're not as good as we thought you was. Your stock's gone down." Because at the minute, it couldn't be higher, could it? Him and Sainz have been, like you say, close. It's a lose-lose for Charles Leclerc. Absolute fucking lose-lose. Unless he goes out and beats him. If he beats Lewis Hamilton, they're going to say, wow, this kid's good. I don't think he's got it in him.
The mind game alone as well.
Yeah.
You could drive for fucking Ferrari for God knows how long, and then someone like Lewis Hamilton comes into the team.
Yeah, true.
That's always going to be niggling in the back of your head.
True,
and that's going to be the biggest fight. It's not going to be a fight for him on the track. It's going to be more of a fight for him in his own head.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Let's talk. I'm sure we're going to come back to this, maybe in the post-season review and maybe the pre-season review as well. The next chapter is beginning, but there's also another end of chapter to Carlos Sainz before we go to the predictions. 4 wins, emotional goodbye in the car and the paddock afterwards. 6 poles, 25 podiums, 900.5 points. Some argue he is the better driver, but it doesn't matter. He's out of there and he's gone to Williams. And he's already testing, and he's took a couple of sponsors supposedly as well. There's a Peroni that's not on a Ferrari car now,
right.
And Santander has suddenly appeared on a Williams testing.
Wow.
With Carlos Sainz in it. So again, watch that story, watch this space. Let's move on to predictions. James, can you give us the predictions, please?
I'd rather skip this bit.
Final.
I'd like to take this moment to thank my sponsors. My mum and dad, my wife, for supporting me through this difficult season. And just to say, fuck you both. Because I won, bitches! Mark, you had 34. You went Max, Leclerc, Norris. You have 34. Tony, you had 30. You had Norris, Max Piastri. You've now got 33. You're the only person to pick the winner. I had 38 points. I went Max Piastri Sainz. I got fuck all, but it doesn't matter because I still fucking whooped both your asses. Charlie was on 14 points. You went Russell, Norris, Leclerc, getting 1 point for Leclerc, finishing on 15. And Beth had 33 points. Went Hamilton, Sainz, Max, getting 2 points for Sainz, giving her 35 points, putting her above both you guys.
Can I just correct you? Beth had 35 points and went to 37.
I mean, why would you do that? It just makes you to look even more shit.
Because
cheers, man.
Honesty is well received
Santa.
in the FIA.
Santa now this. Fuck's sake.
Beth, if you're listening, head of FIA, remember this honesty. When you took the win away from me last
The
year,
last fucking minute.
when
Beth.
you took the win away from me last year because of all your bullshit rules when I said fuck the FIA, blah 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 blah. Remember this absolute honesty. I am the bigger man. You've beat me by 3 points, not the one James was giving you. James, who does the predictions every week. Me and Tony don't get involved. All I'm saying is, Beth, well done. And remember this moment. Remember.
We'll remember this moment, but we'll also remember your turn at the very start of the season towards the FIA and towards Beth. It was very much the opposite, may I add.
Why don't you crawl the fuck out?
You've come around to the right way of thinking. I was very cautious, and threw caution to the wind at one point. Now, yeah, I've just lost everything. Congratulations,
well
Jimmy
done, James. Well done, James.
On the predictions this season.
Well done, FIA.
That's 2 seasons now that I've won, by the way. Just as an FYI. Won the first season, won this one.
In my eyes, James, you're always a winner.
Oh,
you know what? At least you remembered his name.
You know what? I'm going to give you 2 more points for that, Tony. So just
That's
so you. That's 35 points to Tony, 34 to Mark.
And let's end the predictions on that bombshell, because there was points given and taken away for fucking God knows what. I think this was the lowest scoring season for predictions, which tells you how competitive this season was.
All I'm going to say is I'm coming fucking hard for you next year, and there's going to be none of this bullshit. I'm winning by a point and take points off me. Now you're giving Tony the extra point.
I'm going to say it now.
I'm going to wipe the floor with you. That's it.
Mark struggled this year because he couldn't put Max Verstappen first every race.
Can I ask? Because what was it, Mark? I couldn't quite hear him from all the way up here. What was that, Mark? What? Huh?
Go it while it lasts. That's all I'm going to say. I'm coming hard next year.
Oh wow! You know you sound like.
Hard. He's coming real hard next year. 2021.
Everybody's got a target on their back. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that work out the next season? Yeah. Fucking terrible. I'm finishing on Charlie next year. And she never picked Max.
Wow. So Max Verstappen has won the championship. Norris is second. Leclerc, Piastri, fourth. Sainz fifth. Russell sixth. Hamilton seventh. Perez eighth. Somehow, don't know how. Alonso ninth and Gasly 10th. And that is all she wrote. Has anybody else got anything to say about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix or anything just for the season?
I think for the season, I think I would like to say, obviously we're doing probably a season review with or without Dean and Anna. We might do a separate one with or without them, don't know. But for me, I'd like to say thank you to Andy for again having us for the third season. I'd like to thank James. I'd like to thank Tony.
You remember my name?
I did remember your name. We've been here 3 seasons. We're still going. We've had our ups. We've had our downs. But we've had our challenges. But we're still here. We're still enjoying it. We're still going for it. Hope people are listening to it and enjoying it. I just want to say thanks to you guys. I've enjoyed it again. I like talking shit about Formula One and other things. That's what I'd like to say.
I'd second that. Yeah, I'd second that. Cheers, lads.
I'll third it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. That was beautiful.
Only copying us to win predictions and everything. That it was fucking me.
Can I have 2 points for being nice? No, right. Okay.
There was not much copying.
Fuck you
There
all.
was a lot of chat GBT, wasn't there? There was a lot of chat. No, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's been another great season. I can't believe we're on season 3.
We're nearly at season 4.
Review.
We're nearly at season 4.
We're definitely doing a season 4 because
Ferrari Top's coming out. Forza Ferrari. I'm going to learn Italian for next year. I'm going to throw some Italian words in. I'm going.
Thank you. And we're going to get. Yes, we are going to learn Italian. We might even get an Italian on try. But yeah, just to end this season, we'll see you on the post-season chat. But I think it's fitting that we end like this, and that is, it's an end of an era, the end of a chapter. I think it's been 12 seasons of Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes, 246 starts, 84 wins, 78 poles, 153 podiums. He is the GOAT, and I think this cements him as the GOAT, the most successful team driver partnership ever. Thank you very much. To the next chapter, and we'll see you in the post-season review. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one done, another one gone. Big thank you to the guys, and big thank you to you for being here, for watching, for listening, to being a part of this season. Whew. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review, and check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
You've just listened to another episode of Cookie Cast. Thanks for listening.